What would you do if you realized danger was heading your way with only a few seconds to react? Let's look at these fateful clips where cameras caught that final moment of peace right before everything went wrong. A huge mistake by the excavator driver left a man taking the full force of a sudden blast of water.
Warning from Omaha, Nebraska. Do not store fireworks in your garage. It can instantly turn your house into a blaze.
The sheer force of the impact mangled the vehicle and left the shop in ruins. A sudden brake failure on a steep slope was identified as the main reason the driver lost control.
Ele olha na live que o pai acabou de gravar a ponta e caiu de novo. A ponta caiu, eu consegui sair da.
A get-together with friends ended in the worst way possible.
The whole iceberg looked like a giant spinning in the sea, creating an incredible and breathtaking sight.
A serious workplace accident occurred at a factory in Beijing when tons of cement suddenly came crashing down onto a worker at his station. Fortunately, rescue teams arrived in time to save the man. Just seconds before taking off for Miami, flight AA-3023 was forced to abort after flames suddenly broke out from the landing gear. All 137 passengers and crew were ordered to evacuate immediately. Looks like this teamwork wasn't exactly in sync. An unscripted magic trick unfolded at a circus in Volcanic when violent winds suddenly swept in and blew everything away.
Не может быть!
The tremors on Bowean Island, Gressick, brought education to a halt and damaged over 60 structures, including schools, hospitals, and temples. An avalanche may look beautiful from afar, but it hides deadly dangers. Please find a safe place when one occurs. Be extra careful when heading out on rainy days to avoid unexpected accidents. Visitors at Baba Balaknath Temple were left shaken as part of the nearby mountainside suddenly collapsed. The incident raised concerns about landslide risks in steep areas during the rainy season. With no clear warning, a geyser in Ahua, Japan suddenly erupted again right in the middle of a crowded resort. Security footage captured the exact second everything changed in an instant.
If the bus had been delayed by a few minutes, The sinkhole scene in Philadelphia might have turned into a major disaster.
The perfect script for a fairy tale wedding in Mankato, Georgia took an unexpected turn. This will definitely be a memorable day, not just for the couple, but for anyone who saw this one-of-a-kind epic fail.
Have you ever seen chairs dancing in the sand? If you saw this in real life, what would you think? Let us know in the comments. An EF3 tornado appeared unexpectedly in Andover, Kansas on April 30th, 2022, creating scenes of chaos.
Oh my God!
Footage from the scene captured the immense force of the tornado as it moved into a nearby residential area.
A fatal turn at dizzying speeds sent the truck flipping over, turning hundreds of crates of beer into a scattered mess.
No one told these people that motorcycles can also be used to surf.
A section of the Mumbai-Goa highway under construction just crumbled away, triggering a wreck that smashed the heavy machinery on site. Amidst all that twisted metal, the best part is that everyone made it out alive. A freak accident turned this familiar road into a deadly trap. The pickup truck skidded across the icy avenue and slammed into a utility pole, causing a fiery crash. On June 16th, the workday at Sonchao Fireworks Factory in Hunan Province changed in a heartbeat when an accident suddenly broke out right in the middle of the plant.
Despite the vast sky, the rain poured down on a single spot, a scene both strange and striking. On August 25th, 2025, a massive dust storm from the Arizona desert surged down like a giant brown wall, swallowing up the sky over Phoenix. Homes and vehicles seemed tiny, swaying in the fierce winds and swirling dust.
After a high-speed chase with police, a stolen Jeep headed the wrong way and plowed into a Portland light rail station. The suspect, Edgar Castro, was arrested immediately. The truck driver's failure to do a safety check before heading out created a dangerous situation on the streets. What seemed like a peaceful morning suddenly turned into a brief nightmare for an elderly woman in Pouso Alegre. I guess today just wasn't his lucky day. A road under construction in Yibin seems to be testing the balance of these giant concrete mixers. This girl's journey suddenly turned into a dramatic battle for survival after an unexpected encounter with a tornado in an open field in Batam. Strong storm winds caused a wall of an abandoned building to collapse onto an empty parking lot in Eskişehir. 6 cars were damaged, but luckily no injuries were reported. An aluminum house farmhouse in Kuwait went on an unintended journey when strong winds lifted it onto the Abdali Highway during a powerful storm. This scene in Tubbercurry made me feel like a classic moment from The Wizard of Oz had just come to life. This terrifying moment is basically every supermarket worker's worst nightmare. An overloaded rack snapped, pulling down an entire shelving system in just a few seconds. The swing structure finally gave in under the weight of the 3 girls. A 7.4 magnitude earthquake and its powerful aftershocks pushed the southern Philippines into a state of red alert. The epicenter was located near the town of Manay in Davao Oriental, right along the Philippine Trench. A violent storm in Guangdong, China turned a simple commute into a brutal struggle. The incredible power of 2 tornadoes was on full display when they unexpectedly hit western New York. A car traveling on Cannock Road narrowly escaped tragedy by stopping in time as the building right in front of it suddenly collapsed. Staffordshire police stated the cause was a gas explosion. Thankfully, he was fine after that painful fall. A serious power failure hit Joacaba after strong winds tore off a roof and sent it crashing onto high-voltage power lines.
That's exactly why we should never take shelter under a tree during a thunderstorm. A week of heavy rain left the soil saturated and the slopes unstable, triggering a severe landslide. The incident occurred on June 24th in Longtong Village, Guizhou Province, southern China.
The roads in India are honestly like something straight out of a Final Destination movie. A man's incredible escape was caught on camera as a commercial tower in Khobar, Saudi Arabia, gave way right in front of him. The landslide at Mansa Devi Temple is a real wake-up call about how unstable the ground is after those heavy rains in Uttarkashi. Major routes like Haridwar Dehradun could still be in trouble if the rain doesn't let up.
CCTV captured a rare incident on August 5th along the hillside road of Mansa Devi. Fortunately, there were no serious injuries.
On the BA-504 in Algonas, Brazil, a truck tire suddenly popped off and went flying off the road while the vehicle was moving. Fortunately, no one was injured, and they're still investigating exactly what happened, though it looks like it might have been a mechanical or maintenance issue.
Nature is not always the culprit. Sometimes it is human actions that bring about disasters.
Estoy parándola ya.
In just a few seconds, the landslide in Baja California brought down an entire building. Thankfully, no one was injured. And just like that, Mozon's small house in Ichinose, Wajima City was wiped out by Mother Nature in an instant. The aftershock of the 2024 earthquake caused the mountainside to collapse, blocking the stream and creating a huge mud wall that eventually burst, flooding the entire village. The building in Kulu chose a grand way to retire by plunging straight into the Parvati River. After Storm Kajiki passed, torrential rains kept pouring down, forcing many areas in Vietnam to brace for the risk of flash floods and severe landslides. Struck by lightning 6 times within just 1 hour, one of Asia's tallest skyscrapers still stood firm. It's known that the lightning rods installed at the top of the tower are designed to actively attract strikes and safely channel them to the ground. Just hearing the howling wind is enough to understand how terrifying the winds are outside. The incident happened as the city of San Fernando was being battered by heavy rains for several days, leading to severe flooding. Recovery efforts and support for local residents were promptly carried out.
Ahora quedamos encerradas, la puerta no nos quiere abrir por la presión del agua.
In Makrana, the heavy rain not only cooled the air, but also caused the marble quarry to cave in, just like nature decided to hit the reset button. In Gazir, an entire mountain slide slid down in a thick cloud of smoke, causing people to panic and jump in their cars to flee. The cause was identified as heavy, prolonged rain that softened the soil, combined with melting snow, which made the mountainside unstable.
Oh my gosh, it's flipping cars!
When faced with Mother Nature, cars are just toys. A fiery river of molten lava surged down from the Tolbachik volcano complex in the Kamchatka Peninsula, swallowing everything in its path. However, its beauty is truly far from the typical billowing smoke columns.
What started as small warning signs quickly turned into a massive rock slide on a mountain pass in Bhutan. Lakes in Geraldton that used to be rock solid turned into dangerous flying objects under the sheer force of the gale. A desperate attempt to flee a previous crash led to a second tragedy when the minivan lost control and slammed into a row of parked cars in Brooklyn. It turns out the driver was drunk. Reckless behavior like this definitely deserves a harsh penalty.
In just one night, the nightmare called Kajiki turned the peaceful countryside of central Vietnam into a scene of devastation. A big tide at the Oregon coast, turning a simple dog walk into an impromptu sprint for two women. A newly opened hospital was battered by Storm Kajiki, which ripped away tens of thousands of aluminum ceiling panels, leaving the steel framework exposed. The building, which was supposed to be the safest place, became fragile just after one storm, causing concern among onlookers. If not witnessed directly, it would be hard to believe that a quiet road could turn into a raging torrent in just a few seconds. Potholes and traffic jams are nothing compared to this. It is a true obstacle at max level.
Those heart-stopping close calls always leave you breathless. And there are plenty more stories just like them waiting for you. Don't forget to subscribe to WoW Flash to join me for even more incredible moments.